Treating children like children reinforces their childishness. This is something that I believe in so deeply, but it is a bit unpopular. But I really do believe that nowadays we are not helping children the way that the standard of raising them is. I was just thinking about how absolutely absurd it is that you're not allowed to drive. Let's just take America, for example. You're not allowed to drive till you're like 16 or 17 years old. I was just thinking about how ridiculous that is. That there is a legal limitation on when you can start growing up. Like, the rules in place, the expectations that are generally accepted by society, these things become self-fulfilling prophecies that determine when your children are going to fucking grow up. But that's the thing. I do think that some parents, they don't really want their kids to grow up. They don't want little Johnny or little Jill to really grow up and leave the nest. So I think that some parents, they kind of like that their children aren't truly given wings. In fact, I think sometimes we clip children's wings deliberately while calling it love, when really it's just possessiveness and fear of being alone. But then the real question becomes, what other areas in society has this tendency to basically create a self-fulfilling prophecy on when people are expected to grow up? What other areas of society has this infected into? First and foremost, the school system, where you're lumped in to certain grade, generally based on age, and the rat race of competition and the educational system is generally defined in terms of age group chunks, different grade levels. And so it's sort of like this race to the bottom. It's sort of like this tyranny of mediocrity, of standardization. But then we have even other areas. Like, I've noticed that nowadays it's very normal that, you surround your child with cartoons and cartoonish toys, and by the time they're like 3 or 4 years old, their minds are like a Disneyland movie of cartoons and that's the thing. Like, people assume that you have to give them cartoons. You have to dress them up in little weird animal cartoon outfits when they're really young and put them in a crib with cute animal cartoons and colors. Because we assume that because they're babies and they have certain developmental neurology and brain development, really, we assume that we have to sort of dumb things down to get to their level. But that's an interesting conundrum about intelligence. Should you dumb things down so that people get a simplified version of the truth? Or should you hold the truth and reality and science and truths and anything that's reality? Should you hold reality up to the high standard that it is, as it is, objectively? And then expect those who haven't developed yet enough to grasp that truth, expect them to rise up to those truths, to that knowledge, to that information? Do you dumb down reality? Or should you keep reality what it is and expect them to aspire to it? Because that's what a lot of people, it's the natural human instinct to want to rise up. I mean, I don't want to grow up because I'm a Toys R Us kid, right? But the truth is, how old people always say it. Little one, you should stop wanting to grow up, because when you grow up, life is just nothing but misery. And okay, fine, maybe you could make that argument, but the point is that the youth, a lot of time, they want to grow up. They want responsibility. They want a driver's license. They want all these things because they find it exciting. They want to do it. Just give me a second while I make this turn here. Okay. They want to do it. There's a natural inclination. So the question is, should you stoop down to their level? And, it's an interesting thing. I've thought about having kids. It's an idea that's come into my mind. And I've thought about how am I going to raise my kids? I think every parent probably has to ask these questions. And I really wonder if it's a good idea to shove cartoons in front of your children's face. I really wonder if it's a good idea to dress your child up in cartoonish outfits, and how about the way we talk to children? You know how we talk to children. Yeah, you ever been a baby around or something, and you talk to the baby and you're like, and you kind of like talk in this weird, like, just this weird kind of like simple tone of voice, and it's cute and all, and you think the baby is cute. But I don't know, I have this theory that, treating children like children reinforces their childishness. What are you having a child for? Is it because you want to empower them to be the strongest, most actualized versions of themselves so they have the tools necessary to do whatever they want to do with their lives? Or are you having children because it's something you did out of boredom, because it's your hobby now, and you love your children so much that maybe you dread the day when they leave the nest, when they finally grow up and leave the nest. And you don't really want that, because you had children in the first place because you were trying to fill a void of a lack of purpose in life, or a feeling of boredom. And so you got to be careful not to essentially sabotage. It's that phenomenon, the Icarus phenomenon. You don't want to clip their wings. But I think when you put a legal limitation on when a child is allowed to grow up, like driver's licenses, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we have so many things in society that indicate the sort of level that we are at collectively. Collectively, we're at a point now where not leaving your parents' house till you're 25 or older is becoming normal. And I think there's something off there. I think there's something off with that. There's definitely something that's not sitting right. I don't think that's normal. It's the artificial prolonging of childhood. Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest. Thank you guys for watching.
Holy crap, guys. Can you see that? The Earth is freaking cat. Check them out, guys. The brand new The Earth is Cat t-shirts are now available. They come in a variety of shirts and colors. I also got some great mugs available, sweater hoods. Get yourself one of these The Earth is Cat t-shirts. I'll put a link to them in the description below. Get one from yourself right now.